Emmanuel, what do you think of Lindor's comments there?
I thought they were perfectly fine. He's balancing the sense of urgency, right? They have to have a sense of urgency at this stage of the season because you can easily lose a division in the month of April. He's also balancing that with, look, it's April. There's a lot of baseball to play here. And I was stunned the amount of flack and pushback Francisco Lindor was getting from the Mets faithful. Look, this guy's been through everything as a Met. He's had a brutal first year with the Mets where he was counted out. He's had a year where the Mets were dead and buried, then they rise from the ashes, end up in the championship series, a couple of games from the World Series. Francisco Lindor knows how to separate what's important from what's just noise. And I'm sorry, 7 straight losses in the month of April. Yeah, it's a panic level, but it's kind of noise in the grand scheme of a season.
Yeah, to an extent. I mean, but it's also how you look. I mean, the Mets have been a boring baseball team to go along with that 7-game losing streak, right? There has not been much punch when you're looking at that lineup. And obviously not having Juan Soto in part of that lineup is a huge factor. But then you look at Lindor and you look at his struggles, not only in the field but up at the plate. And you look at some of the other issues when you're looking at this lineup. And then you look at the restructuring of this team throughout the course of the offseason where fan favorites like Nimmo, McNeil to a lesser extent, obviously Pete Alonso, all shown the door either via trade or free agency. And then you're looking at the product now where the starting rotation was better, but then it was a kind of well, this team is molded in the vision of David Stearns, and how does it look early, right? The pressure that's on Carlos Mendoza, and there should be pressure on this team right now because the last thing you want to do with one more against the Dodgers, then taking on the Chicago Cubs, is burying yourself early to where it takes you a good 6-7 weeks to be able to dig yourself out of the hole that you did early on in the first 17, 18 games of the year.
Hein, it does feel like there's extra pressure from the fan base, extra noise. Do you think it's what Moose is talking about with the offseason, letting go of some of the fan favorites, or because of the way that they finished last year?
I think it's a little bit of both. Moose makes an excellent point about how the team is right now. But you remember the second half of last year. You remember the Marlins game last year. But it was just the Marlins in a lot of teams' heads. Then they come out, they shell Skeens. Everyone's like, okay, we're going to go. And then what has happened? It's just been a flat team, as you're saying, Moose, and I think that's in people's heads. And you wonder with Lindor and what he had to say. I agree with you, Emmanuel. I think it's the middle of April, and we all know it's a long season and things can change. But you're looking for signs. You're looking for some kind of spark. You're looking for anything to get excited about. And right now, even though they played better, and McLean will talk about later, they still let you down at the end of the game. And when that keeps happening, it creates a culture where you start feeling like you got to do a little bit more. And that's when you get into trouble. Like the Mets have the talent. They really do. And they will come around. But the fan base gets very impatient waiting for that.
But there's not too much here that's a surprise. Francisco Lindor getting off to a slow start. Ooh, we've never seen that before. Francisco Lindor getting off to a slow start. Bo Bichette is adjusting to a new team. He just got a big contract. Jorge Polanco's been playing hurt. Like what's a surprise here so far with the Mets? It's the middle of April.
No, but you could look at Lindor and say, all right, well, I'm surprised that he's struggling up at the plate because he's historically a slow start. Okay, I'm not surprised that but here's where I am surprised, right? Lindor has remarkable baseball IQ. When he's getting picked off, when he's not realizing how many outs there are in the inning, when he's going out there not covering second base with Kodai Senga in his last start and negating a double play, which cost the Mets a run. That's where you look at it and say, well, what's wrong, right? There's a little bit of a disconnect here in terms of what's going on. And then you get to the offseason, right? So part of the reason, listen, the Mets last year, the end of the season was a disaster. But then in the offseason, we heard about culture or chemistry within the clubhouse, within the locker room. Well, we heard guys not getting along, whether it be Lindor, Soto, Lindor, and obviously Brandon Nimmo, right? So you look at it and say, well, now you've changed everything. So now what's wrong? Right? Now what's wrong when you look at it? So you say, okay, is it the approach of the plate? Are they being overwhelmed with information? Why, when you look at this lineup, you say to yourself, why do they not look involved? Why does it there look to be a disconnect? When you look at Lindor early on in the season, it's not just offensively, it's the fact that he's hurt his team, whether it be on the base pass or defensively as well.
Yeah, and that's what I'm most surprised about. I'm not surprised. Now, it doesn't make it acceptable. I'm not surprised with the slow start offensively from Lindor. I don't like the fact that this team is not doing the different things that we thought they would do to be better this year, meaning play defense, run the bases well. Those were things when Stearns constructed the team in the offseason, they were supposed to be better and different from last year, better in the little areas that will help you win ball games. That has not been there, so that has been maddening. You can accept the slow start, although I'd like to see him actually do something for once in April or May, because especially now without Soto. But the other stuff, to me, those little things add up, and they cause you to lose ball games, especially when you're without your top offensive player. there. One great thing from last night, though, was Nolan McLean. Hein, we saw it on full display there. Against that Dodgers lineup, toe-to-toe with Yamamoto, throwing wiffle balls up there last night. That is a very encouraging sign that this guy has been consistent from day one of the big leagues. Looks like a legitimate ace.
He's a beast, no doubt about it. And the thing I love about McLean is it doesn't look like he's new to the major leagues. He's got that ace mentality. And when he's facing a lineup like the Dodgers on the road, you weren't even thinking twice about whether he was going to get the next guy out. And that's really impressive. And I know it's Dodger Stadium, which lends itself to solid pitching outings, but McLean looked like a veteran out there, mixing up his pitches. The Dodgers didn't know what's coming. And the thing I really love about him the most is that he knew what the hype was about him coming into this season, and he has taken it and run with it. He eats it up. And that's what you want out of an ace. You want somebody who's going to take the mound every 5 days and strike fear into the opponent's hearts. That's exactly what Nolan McLean's been doing.
This guy's a superstar. I think that we're going to look up at the end of the year and say, is this guy a top 5 pitcher in the sport? The movement is completely uncanny on his pitches.
Yeah.
He has a repertoire. He commands a repertoire. And I love on that stage against the Dodgers, he mows down the top of the order.
Yeah.
All these future Hall of Famers potentially, he's mowing them down into the 7th inning. And on his final pitch of the night, he's gunning 97 miles an hour. It's not just like you got to conserve and you're sort of going training wheels with a young pitcher. No, this guy is ace right now material. I'm completely impressed by McLean.